Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we're still in summertime.
Yes.
Summertime. What is this, the second week of school?
Yes, second or third week of school, I think.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. This time of year just flies by.
Oh, gosh,
I mean, people talk about summer going by fast, and maybe your guys' summer did go by fast, but I'm not saying mine didn't, but fall is where it really just, it picks it up a notch.
Yeah. I haven't decorated yet. I was going to last week, and then Saturday ended up doing a road trip, so I don't know. I might decorate today, but I'm tired today. This heat drained me.
Yeah, I tried to. Yesterday was a really hot day. I didn't even leave the house except to go to Dairy Queen and get my Coke.
Right.
That's the only place I went to.
Yeah.
The rest of the day I stayed in. We needed a few groceries. Nope, can't go today. It's too hot.
Too hot to go to get groceries.
Nope, I didn't do anything. I stayed in the house.
Well, yesterday's when we recorded. We record on a Tuesday, so my yesterday was Monday. So I had Joanna, and so we had a big day. We played outside, and Jack went to school. My little man's not wanting to go to school.
Uh-oh.
It makes y'all very sad.
He's only in pre-K, right?
No, he's kindergarten.
Oh, he's kindergarten.
And it's all day, and it's all day, and he's not a fan of going.
Yeah, well, it's exhausting for him. It's a big change.
Well, he's very sensitive, and he told me the first week he did great, and he loved it, and everything was good. And then somebody got in trouble in PE. So then Jack was like, he got yelled at in PE, and I don't want to get yelled at, and I don't want to go. So somebody got in trouble, and I said, Jack, honey, you're going to be around people. There's bad people going to be surrounding you, going to get in trouble all the time. You just do you, buddy. You know, you just be good, and you do what the teacher says, and you won't get in trouble. Now he's so freaked out about
He's worried about getting in trouble.
He's worried about getting in trouble, and no, he doesn't want to go. But I think I'm good friends with Kay Knapp, and Kay made the comment. She's like, I think she told Paige, she's like, boys, she was a phenomenal teacher. She was Connor's first grade teacher. He loves her. They still love each other to this day. Kay was a phenomenal teacher. So anyway, she'd be like, boys, it takes 2 to 3 weeks for them to get used to. Girls usually just dive right in and go have fun and that stuff. But boys are like, but it's like he does not want to go. He like cries. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's sad.
And it's hard for y'all not to say, well, we'll just homeschool. You don't have to go. They're like, there's your lunchbox, buddy. You got to go. It's going to be a happy day. You're going to kill it. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I know.
It's hard to send them when they don't want to go.
It is hard. I don't remember. I don't know if the boys ever did that or not. I probably wouldn't have cared with much. Paige is like, you're going right now. It's going to be a good day. You're going to love it. It's going to be so. And when he gets there, he's going to love it because he has his friends. But it's just getting them.
Well, maybe the one person, sometimes it just takes one person to ruin it. So if there was somebody that scared him,
he might
have anxiety about that, and he doesn't want to be around that, whoever it was that yelled.
So you think I might have to go to that school and find out exactly what happened?
No bullies in the lunchroom, man.
No bullies. You don't want this y'all coming to that school.
That's right.
That's all I got to say. Don't make me find out who that other 5-year-old is.
I'm not worried about the 5-year-old. I'm just saying, whoever yelled at him must have really made an impact.
Yeah, so like I said, he didn't get yelled at, but a little friend did, and he was like, yeah. Connor was an overthinker. Connor would worry about stuff. Connor, he was an overthinker too.
I have one like that.
Jack is very sensitive. He's a sensitive little fella. And, so it's kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So what are you going to do today?
Today I'm taking the rest of the day off, and I'm going to Effingham to get my nails done.
Do you always make an appointment for that, or
no? I just go. And then I'm going.
I took mine off the other night. I did a hair color. My hands were black as night, so I hate working in gloves. They make me hot. I can't.
Gloves.
Yeah.
And back then, everybody wore gloves, like the ones behind us. Like, even up into the 50s, 60s, girls wore gloves. Like, they weren't always long like that. Can you imagine? Like, I get hot in gloves. How do they deal with that all the time?
I don't know, but the plastic gloves we wear to do hair color. Now, if I'm doing like I do those rainbow hair colors and like the the fashion colors that are stain immediately because they're just temporary colors, I just can't. I'll try them. Okay, I don't want to have, blue hands the rest of the day, so I'm gonna put my gloves on. I'm like, I put them plastic on my hands and with these hot flashes. I'm like, I can't do it. I'd rather have stained hands for a couple days. So I just took my nails off. I'll put a set on later on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just do my own.
Well, tonight is the first Flora High School volleyball game.
Nice.
So it's in Salem, and I'll be going to that. Carissa's playing volleyball, so
yep, that's gonna be
fun. Yes,
Jim's first. Jim drives the bus.
Jim is the bus driver and the coach. Yeah. So he'll be there.
Yeah, it's another. You
should go. You're gonna go to the home games.
I go to every home game. I usually don't go to away games. I go to home games, but I don't miss a game when they're home. But
and Flora High School football kicks off Friday night.
Oh, really? Is it home
it's
or
an
away?
Away game in Carmi.
Away game? Yeah, I don't go to those anymore. Used to. Back when
you had Connor playing football, you went, but now,
Oh, yeah, when Connor played in college, we got on airplanes and flew to wherever he was going. We never missed a game. We traveled all over the place.
Good for you. Way to be a good parent.
Oh, good parenting, yeah.
Good parenting.
The only time, and then, Mac played... Mac played basketball, and we never missed it. We don't miss anything. Never missed anything the boys ever did. But Mac actually broke my heart one time because I drove to Robinson to watch him in a golf match.
Oh, you've told me about this.
Yeah, well, he was like, Mom, you can't come anymore. I'm like, why? He's like, well, you think you're whispering. Good job, good. He's like, Mom, your whisper's normal people's voice. So Mac was like, you can't go anymore. I'm like, but I don't miss anything you guys do. He''s like, well, you're missing.
Don't watch me golf.
You're right. Don't watch me golf, Bob. Good shot, baby. Good shot. Go.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Or like, I don't sit still. So even I'm like, so my shadows.
Moving around.
Mac banned me, but
funny.
Yeah, but it was all those days are fun. Yeah, you don't want to miss those games. And Silas has got his baseball, so
yep.
Yeah, this is you're not you. This is your first time being a sports mom.
First time being a sports mom, and there's two in sports at the same time.
And it.
I am enjoying it.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's just it's a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah, that's how it was. The only time we ever missed anything was when the boys were both playing basketball at the same time, and then one parent would go, say Jim would go watch Mac play, and I'd go watch Connor play. Then the next time I'd go watch Mac. That's the only time we ever split up. Was doing that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's so fun. Yeah, sports moms.
Yep.
Totally different ball game.
Yep.
Okay, so I've come across this really interesting magazine.
Yes, you sure did.
And okay, so I need somebody to zoom in on this baby. And I just lost my page, so hopefully I can find it. Zoom in on me here. Okay, look at this. Saga's, I don't know what that means. SAGA's 1973 UFO special. Okay, this is a magazine I found, and the year is
1973.
1973. I just said that. I was looking at 75 cents for this magazine. Okay, thank you. There are ads in here that I cannot show you because some of them are there's a lot of bodybuilding, a lot of other ads, but then there's some really cool ones that you just don't, because like I said, I don't know what UFOs has to do with bodybuilding and slimming and all this stuff. But anyway, I'm going to be sharing, so I got to you guys. We can't. And I'm going to bring you one of the stories out of the magazine on our next episode about UFOs because it's funny. I'm sorry, it's funny. But I could have done this ad for them, and you would have had to sell a product.
Yeah, I could have.
Ready? Throw it up there.
Could have done this one too.
Skinny? Gain up to 7 full pounds in only 7 days. Honey, I could do that probably in a day.
No kidding.
With new, completely safe, natural plan tested at leading universities. No drugs, no gadgets, no gimmicks. Just drink this delicious milkshake tasting crash weight gain formula number 7 and watch the pounds pile on. Fill out your underweight body with this easy, pleasant plan, just as thousands have done. Money back guaranteed. Order in your choice of chocolate or vanilla flavors. Prices do not include shipping and handling charges. The 7-day plan is $8. The 14-day plan is $14.98. Joe Whiter Department 55 Maple Street, Norwood, New Jersey. Free. Act now and receive a big 56-page weight gain course with your order.
Oh my!
Do you really need 56 pages to learn how to gaining weight?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, but this one caught my eye. I'm like, Skitty?
So like $1 a day, they're going to send you some protein shakes or something.
They're going to send you some protein shakes. Literally, go to McDonald's, buddy.
Yeah.
Go to McDonald's. Eat your
This is 1973. McDonald's started in about 73, didn't it?
Yeah. I think so, early 70s. But yeah, how to gain weight. It's like, oh man. Yeah, 7 pounds in 7 days? I can beat that.
Yeah.
Goals, people.
Go on vacation.
Go.
Eat everything that you want.
Yeah.
10 pounds, 1 week.
Easy. Go have your mom bake them a cake.
Yeah.
Get it. Have Debbie DeVore cupcakes. You'll gain.
Yep.
I could call Marilyn Helmus and get you loaded up real quick too. She's always bringing me something. She comes in the shop. Thank you, Ty. Yeah, Marilyn comes into the shop every month and gets her hair done and brings me something homemade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice, but
and she's like your mom.
I know my mom brings stuff too.
They bake and stuff. They can do anything.
I know. It's also good. It's hard to stay away from it.
Well, and sugar's my crack cocaine.
Mine too.
Yeah. I wonder if, of course, in 73, they weren't lazy like what we are now. I mean, let's face it. We're kind of lazy. That's what, like when you go to other countries, like they're walking everywhere. We don't. No. I don't even want to walk from here to the car.
I know.
When we're done recording, I don't want to walk.
I'm like, can I drive there?
Can I?
Like, I have a neighbor that's like 3 doors down, which I walk. No. I do walk to her house a lot. She and I mean, we'll walk back and forth. But like, if I have to carry like something pretty big down there, I'll be like, I'll just drive. I don't want to walk.
Okay.
And carry something.
Okay, so like real talk, my house is here. We do own several lots. I've bought lots of houses, right? But so like my house is here, then there's an empty lot here, and then there's where the Airbnb's here, and then the lot behind here is where my camper sits. I will literally load up after doing all the laundry. I will drive my golf cart from my front of my house over one empty lot to the campground.
I don't blame
to the camper because
I
don't like carrying stuff because I'm clumsy too.
I know.
There's holes and
I know.
I've got so many excuses. It's not even funny.
I'm with you. I'm the same way.
But yeah, really, no, I'm yeah. But I'll go and walk. Like if the kids want to ride their bikes, and I'll walk up and down. I don't have a problem walking that type of thing. Or like on that Mediterranean cruise, we walked everywhere we went. It was great, no problem at all. Once I get going, but
right.
The thought of carrying that basket full of heavy and food back and forth. Yeah.
Yep.
God bless you, the golf cart.
Yes.
But we are going to take a break, and I'm going to come back, not with my UFO story. You guys got to wait till next week.
That's for next
week.
But
I just found 2 or 3 different interesting stories I'm just going to bring to you. Kind of like a little hodgepodge today. So we will be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and the only thing bad about going into this time of year is elections.
Yeah.
Elections. Oh, but I don't hardly ever watch mainstream TV much, so I'm going to miss those ads. But those ads used to drive me crazy.
Yeah. I don't want to hear any of it. It drives me nuts.
Do you watch much TV?
No.
So I'm a Hulu girl. I'm a movie girl. I watch old stuff. I don't. I'm anxious to see what.
Oh, I started watching The Mentalist. Didn't you tell me that was such a good show?
Do you love The Mentalist?
I started watching it last night. I'm on episode like 3 or 4, I think. Yeah, it's really good.
It's fantastic.
And that guy, the main guy, he's cute.
He is very cute.
I don't know what his name is or anything. But...
I can't. Simon something. Simon something.
Okay.
I don't know, but he is cute. The Mentalist is great. I started because I finished The Mentalist. No, I'm on the very last season of The Mentalist. I finally made. I love it. I started kind of watching Mad Men. You ever watch Mad Men?
Nope.
I'm not. It's all about the '60s, so I love it because of the outfits and the hairstyles, and it's an okay plot. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really keep my attention, but basically I watch it. But so I came across this thing, where like all the politics. You get on Facebook, that's all it is political stuff, and you know how we feel about politics. But anyway, I came across this. It's a Piecing Together the Past by Rena Lynch Thomas. And it's actually from May 17th, 1923, Xenia School Board Election.
Ooh, school board election.
School board election.
Serious
where there was
politics.
Fraudulent behavior happening.
Whoa.
Yeah. So this is between Fred Matheny and Mr. Pickle.
Matheny, I bet.
Matheny, M-A-T-H-E.
Wasn't there a Cardinal ball player named Matheny, and that's how he spelled it?
Matheny, M-A-T-H-E-N-Y. You're the better reader than I am. Matheny. Fred Matheny and Pickle. Now, there are pickles around. You don't hear have you ever heard the name Matheny around here? Me either. But they are running against each other in the Xenia School Board election.
Okay.
The people could not understand how Fred Matheny was given only a count of 84 votes when 121 people testified in court that they had cast their ballots for him. Fraudulent voting.
Did Mr. Pickle's wife work at the courthouse or what?
Not really sure.
Where did the votes go?
The county court in Louisville handed down their opinion of the incident. It was conceded that a large majority of those voting at the election wanted Matheny elected. They intended to vote for him, went through the motions of voting, and went home thinking they had indeed voted for Matheny. The writer of the newspaper article, and this paper was the Clay County Republican newspaper, the writer of the newspaper article stated that the sad things about the whole situation was that the density and stupidity of the Matheny supporters were responsible for the disaster that befell them. They themselves voted for Pickle and elected him.
Why? Was the wording on the ballot like so twisted, like a double negative, like I don't want to vote for, like how did they word it?
The question is, how did this happen?
I bet they had some stupid long drawn out paragraph that you had to read.
Probably.
Which one of these do you pick? And they thought they picked
one of these two is not like the other. Yeah. Who knows? Elections were apparently conducted quite differently in those days than they are today. The court said there was a great possibility that in the confusion and hurry of the voters to vote for Matheny, they did, in fact, make the substitution and, in fact, cast a vote for Pickle, though not intended to do so. Some ballots for each of the candidates were left on the table in the polling place for accommodating voters appearing to vote and having no ballot. So you're telling me that back in 1923, they're just like a piece of paper, mark X here, kind of like we do for elders of the church?
Okay.
Is that what you're kind of getting?
I don't know. I'm confused.
Apparently, voters could obtain a ballot for their candidate outside the polling place and away from the schoolhouse. If they came to vote without a ballot, they were given one at the polling place for the candidate of their choice. Can you imagine the mass confusion that this would create if elections were handled in this fashion today? Even just for a school board election? Well, Rena, it's happening because this is no different than mail-in voting.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. This sounds like mail-in. They got their ballot somewhere else, and now they're okay. So keep going.
Yeah, so it's no different. Almost 99 years, or what?
Yeah,
101 years later.
Oh my!
We're still messing everything up. The court said it was possible that some were given a ballot for a candidate other than the one they wanted. It occurred to me that perhaps some could not read and didn't realize which ballot they were getting. That's kind of an interesting point.
Yeah, not everyone was literate back then.
Yeah.
So their ballots weren't like having both names on there. Like, which one of these do you want, A or B? Mm-hmm. Matheny or Pickle? It was just like, this is a Pickle ballot.
I'm assuming.
You turn it in, this is a Matheny ballot.
That's kind of what it sounds like. But when you go in there and say, I want to vote for Matheny, and they give you a Matheny ballot? Or was there both names on it like we do the elders of the church?
I don't know. Keep going.
Interesting. In any event, the court disposed of the testimony of the 121 witnesses who said they had voted for Matheny, thought they voted for him, but did not. The writer said, people would naturally think men like Ike Montgomery, Leslie Robb, Nat Pierce, Joe Tolley, Noble Gibson, Senator Campbell, 2 ministers of the gospel, and others like them who made up the 121 voters for Matheny would know they voted, but it appeared they did not.
There was a senator in there? A senator and 2 preachers and a bunch of people from Xenia.
That didn't know.
They didn't know that they hadn't.
Yeah.
You'd think a senator would be literate.
Well, you'd think would know how they voted, but it appeared they did not. The writer allowed that if it was true that they had intended to vote for Matheny and instead accidentally voted for Pickle. A more wooden-headed set of voters never gathered at one polling place at one time, he stated. They should have conservators appointed for them, because voters who do not know enough to vote for the candidates they prefer at school election and to know they have done so are too simple-minded to look after their own affairs.
Who's saying this?
The writer of the article.
Oh my. He thinks they should have a conservatorship. That's like Britney Spears here. Like, they can't even handle like how they vote. They don't need to be in charge of their own life. Okay, he is really letting them have it. I don't know who the editor. I don't know who the editor was then, but I know it wasn't Smitty.
I don't know, but we need to.
He would have never said that.
I know. How funny. How funny is that? Hey, real quick, Ty, show the cartoon picture that's on the look.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know what's happening here. I'm not even really sure what this got. It's got like it's a voting ballot, but he looks like he's so confused. His tongue's hanging out of his mouth.
Oh, my.
I'm not sure if he's holding a microphone. Oh, he's holding a pencil.
Oh, my.
Oh, how funny was that cartoon? Man. Yeah, he's holding a pencil.
This newspaper writer's really giving it to him.
He is nailing
like, you idiots.
Another mysterious thing which occurred in that election and was brought out at the trial was the presence of 2 more ballots in the ballot box, which appeared after the judges and clerks testified that they had carefully counted the ballots from the box and they tallied with those cast. Too many ballots in the box for the voters.
Oh, my.
Fraud everywhere. Fraud, fraud, fraud. And they say election fraud can't happen.
Oh, it happens.
Oh, it happens.
Apparently, even at school board elections in Xenia, Illinois, population 500.
1923.
Yeah.
The 2 found ballots were added to Pickle's count,
of course,
bringing it up to 123. How they justified this is unclear. They thought it was very possible that these 2 stray ballots were not cast by persons actually voting at the election, but were ballots of a couple of Pickle supporters who could not attend the election and had sent the ballots in with some friends. Yeah.
So it almost makes me think they had like two boxes, like one that said pickle and one that said Matheny.
Uh-huh.
And you put and then they just counted how many.
And they just didn't know.
were
They
in
didn't know
each
the
box.
difference between pickle and Matheny.
Do you think that? I don't know. I'm
know.
still confused on how they were doing this.
I don't think they know how they're doing it.
I don't think so either.
Boy, does this sound feasible or even legal? As I have said many times, things were handled differently in the past. According to the article, there was but one expression heard from all sources following the decision above, and that was the flagrant election fraud had been perpetrated and that the elector was stolen by somewhat in some way in broad daylight. Well, you know, how many times did you see back in the last election where there were just like people dumping in tons of ballots in broad daylight? Mm-hmm. See, you don't even have to. Mm-hmm. You don't even have to do it in the dark anymore. An appeal was taken to the Supreme Court. Okay.
Okay. Wow. that escalated quickly. So they went from the Clay County Courthouse to the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court.
The Illinois Supreme Court.
The Illinois Supreme Court, which was to have been heard in October of that year, but I don't know the outcome. Huh. Mm. So that went
what
right
year
down.
was that?
1923.
Okay, so we can Google 1923 Illinois Supreme Court cases.
Supreme Court case, Xenia School Board.
The people of Xenia versus Pickle. Xenia versus Pickle, 1923.
You know, and if you're Mr. Pickle, you're just like,
Mr. Pickle must have been not very nice. That they didn't just want like their guy over him. It was like they didn't want him to have it.
Fred, we need to look up Fred Matheny.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to look up Fred Matheny here and see whatever happened. It gives Fred's name, but it doesn't give. It just says Mr. Pickle. So we don't even know.
Yeah, he doesn't even get his whole name in there.
I don't know, but I thought with the election coming, that was a funny.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a pretty good article.
Right here.
Right here.
1923. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, we need to find out, and we need to find out about who this. If everybody loved this Fred Matheny anyway, we need to find out who old Fred is.
That's right.
Huh? Wonder if he's on Find a Grave. I mean, we know he's dead.
So 1923. This is during Prohibition, right? So
yeah, maybe
there could have been a little bit of.
Did that you know? You remember whenever we were talking to Margie and Margaret, they were talking about South Mill Street being Tin Can Alley and Prohibition. I wonder if they had that over in Xenia too,
I bet they
and
did.
Clay City.
I bet everywhere did.
That's kind of a neat. Prohibition's a cool topic, I think.
Mr. Pickle might have been running the underground speakeasy in Xenia, whereas Mr. Matheny was a dry and he didn't want any of that. It could be more. There could be more to the story.
I think there is more to the story.
School board.
But yeah, I like that story. I found that the other day, and I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was cool. So I thought, well, this is appropriate for election time. So yeah, but we're going to take a commercial break, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Songer Cemetery.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. So while we were on the commercial break, I did a quick Google search of Illinois Supreme Court cases in 1923 and also in 1924. There were only 3 cases handled by the Illinois Supreme Court in 1923. None of them had anything to do with Xenia. And then there was only 1 case handled by the Illinois Supreme Court in 1924, and it also had nothing to do with Xenia. So I would say they were turned down.
I would
their
say
request to be heard
could you imagine,
at the Supreme Court.
I would think they would, because like somebody at the Supreme Court's got to be going, nah.
It sounds trivial.
Yeah. It's a school board.
Yeah.
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 And it does make you wonder what was going on at that time. They were but they were passionate about their voting. Yeah. And when did women get the right to vote? What year was it? It was in the 1800s, right? No,
it was in
we
the
didn't
1920s.
get. It was the 1920s. So I wonder if any women.
Yeah.
But it was funny though, because like some of those
or was
people.
it 1919? I don't remember. I'd have to Google it.
I'll have to Google that. Hey, Google when did women get the right to vote? I'm thinking it's 1918. 1918
that sounds
or
right.
I think it's 1918 when women got the right to vote. Did you figure that out yet, Ty?
1920. We were all around it. 1920.
Well, we were close. Yeah.
Close is good enough.
Close is good enough. Hey, we're voting now. That's all that matters,
That's right.
Okay, so then I found another article here, and we love cemeteries. And we have got to make a road trip.
Yes, to which
cemetery.
one?
I don't know. Where are we going to go this time?
I've got several I've kind of got my eye on.
Are we going to go to the little ones?
Yeah, there's some little ones out there that have really old graves.
Well, that's why I want to go visit this one.
Okay.
This one, because I found this article, and I want to go visit this one.
Okay.
It's called this is another article by Rena Lentz Thomas, and it's a visit to Songer Township.
Okay.
And I'm going to read that. I like the way she writes, so I'm going to read it verbatim instead of just jumping around and picking out things I want to talk about, because I like the way she writes things. And I didn't realize that Dawn and Rita were cemetery hoppers like we are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she loved their cemeteries,
Oh,
too.
she sure did. Yeah. Back when I worked at the Hometown Journal, she would come in and, like, when she turned in an article or whatever, she'd sit and talk to me about it, and she'd tell me about their adventures and, like, where they went in this cemetery and that cemetery. And
How'd you get anything done? Because I'm thinking at the Hometown Journal, you were there, Rena's there, Bill Oliver's there. How did you guys even get a paper put out?
Well, Bill was there all night, so he did that.
Bill didn't come in during the day.
Linda Manring, she did a lot of the stuff. She would come out. She was always kind of quiet, so she would come out and like chit chat a little bit. But she was like back to work. She was serious.
She was serious business.
She was serious. She kept the place going. Whereas I was there at the front desk to type. I typed everything. And I could type really fast. And then we had these really cool Apple computers that were early 2000 models, and they had this. There was a couple games on there. So if there was no one in there, I had all my work done. I could play this dinosaur game. I can't remember the name of it, but that was fun. But all these people would come in and they would chat. So like my job was really just be social and talk to the writers and keep them coming in. And we had, Linda Davidson coming in with Sailor Springs News. We had Rena coming in. We had Hannah's Heart. We had Bill's Oliver. Bill was always in there talking, and then Linda's mom and dad would come in like almost daily to chit chat.
Really?
And
Penny Dennison was Penny a writer?
Penny Denson, she was our proofreader. She and I would proof everything together. She would read it, and then I would, if anything didn't sound right, we would talk it out together. But a lot of times she proofed with me because I knew last names and even first names. Like some people, Madison might be spelled slightly different. I'd be like, oh, she doesn't spell it like that, And she's like, I don't know how you know this.
That's when you became the English police.
Yes, she was my mentor. She taught me everything. I mean, I had good English teachers in school, but Penny was an amazing mentor for grammar. But she and I would sit there. Bill's friend Jeff would come in and out through the day. I would talk to him off and on through the day. I mean, I talked all day long. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I would have never. Yeah, you could probably type and do that. Yeah, I would have had a ball working there.
Oh, yeah, because the typing was really thinkless. Like, I didn't have to think about it. You just have to read what you're, and I can, like, talk and type at the same time.
Have you seen me type? Yeah. It's like watching the old Pong game. Boop, boop.
And I still type really fast, and I'm like one of those nerds that and when I started my new job working from home, I got a really cool keyboard.
So it's super cool.
It is super. It's ergonomic, and I got to pick like how loud I wanted it to be. Like, and I love the sound. I love the feedback of like a typewriter. You know, so I picked out one that was like super loud, which I love listening to it as I type. But now that I'm also like doing like Zoom meetings and stuff, like, and I'm sure my coworkers are probably like, she has the loudest keyboard in the whole world. Yeah, but I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's good. So, I'm glad you know how to type because you have to type everything for me.
That's right.
And you have to print everything for me.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. Because we did get the printer from your mom and dad to take up to the theater.
Yes.
We just haven't taken it up there yet. But hey, it works.
Yep.
Anyway, so a visit to Songer Township.
Okay.
Here's how Rena starts us out. This week, you will all be privileged to my random ramblings. My husband and I went for a drive last Sunday afternoon, as we do often, and ended up in the Songer Township area of Clay County. Well, I, like most genealogists, have a fascination with cemeteries. A lot of family history can be unearthed, pardon the pun, in these records of stone. I love the way she writes. Well, we came upon the Songer Cemetery, and I want to write that down because we definitely want to go there.
Okay.
The Songer Cemetery sign, and I mentioned I had never been to this particular cemetery, and I had read where there were several very old graves there. We were approximately 1 mile north of Xenia and 3/4 mile back west to the cemetery sign, then south down a long lane between two bean fields. The cemetery is nestled quietly in a grove of pine trees.
Sounds beautiful.
This one's one we're going to have to go to.
I love pine trees.
So I'll keep this. That way we'll know where it's at. Of course, you and I will probably get lost. But there's a sign, right?
Yeah, there's a sign. We won't be too lost.
We won't be. And then John Wayne Tanner's got a book of Clay County cemeteries.
Yes.
Have you seen that? Is that at
Yes. It's at the Genealogical Society. You can get a copy of it.
I wonder if we can get. I wonder if was it one of the books that can be bought?
I think so. I think they have copies for sale, but honestly, like, I don't find it super useful.
You don't?
Because it's just a listing of all the names that are in that cemetery, which if you were looking for a specific name,
for somebody,
it would be helpful. But for us to just go cruise on by, because it doesn't say, I don't think it says anything other than their name or maybe
so it really would
what's
be
on there.
worth us purchasing.
Because I want to know, like, they had a history or what their story is. I don't think it has
one of my favorite places to get and find people is at Genealogy Trails and hit the biographies, and there's tons of stuff about. Do you ever look on that one?
Yeah, I wish that website was continued. Like, I think somebody worked on it for just like a year or two maybe, and then gave up on it.
That's a neat site. I like. I find names on there sometimes. It's kind of interesting. Okay, anyway, where was I at? John Wayne Tanner's book of Clay County cemeteries lists this as the Sam Songer Cemetery, also sometimes known as the Walker Cemetery. Now, Samuel Songer died April 6, 1874 at the age of 73 and is one of the early burials, but not the first. So I am assuming Mr. Songer started the cemetery for another family member who had passed away. And there are a ton of just little family cemeteries everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Often these little secluded country cemeteries started out as a private family plots, usually to the back of the family property in an appropriate place. Eventually, a neighbor might ask permission to bury a loved one there. Thus, as time went on, it became a somewhat public burying ground. As near as I can tell, this is apparently just what happened. Samuel and Elizabeth Songer had a daughter, Sarah, who died on January 6, 1835. At the age of 5 years, 4 months, and 1 day.
Man, that's heartbreaking.
This appears to be the oldest grave there. Thus, it would explain the name of the cemetery. Apparently, they had buried their daughter nearby on their own land and eventually consented to other burials. So it all started with that one little girl. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Elmwood start with just a child?
Elmwood started with a child as well.
I was thinking that's right.
A 1-year-old baby boy.
Yeah. There were several children who died in the 1840s and 50s who were also there. Whitman, Arnold, Junkin, Cope, to name a few, as well as 2 Henninger children. I'm not sure why it would have been known as the Walker Cemetery by some, as there doesn't seem to be any more Walkers buried there than any other family, but perhaps he also once owned land nearby. I imagine some of the older Songer Township residents would have the answer to this question. Yeah, there's a lot of Songers. There's still Songers around. Margaret Anderson Walker, a native of Virginia and wife of Robert Walker, also of Virginia, died in 1876 and is buried there. Her husband has a military stone there, but is actually buried in Coles County, Illinois.
What? That's weird.
Yeah, so he's just got a stone there. His body's not there, but his stone there with the family. He was a veteran of the War of 1812 and died in 1840. Robert and Margaret Walker had 7 children who lived to adulthood, with 3 dying in infancy. Some are buried in Songer Walker Cemetery, including Angie Walker, who never married, was born in 1859. She died in 1842. We were given
Wait, what? Say that again. What year was she born?
She was born in 1859. She died in 1942.
Oh, 1942. Okay,
Yeah.
I think you said 1842.
Did I?
And I was like, what? Okay.
Going backwards.
Okay, just making sure. 1942. So that really wasn't
She lived
that long ago.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. We were given a ledger at the genealogical library, which had belonged to Angie, in which she kept a record of all of her expenses and income, such as her butter and egg money.
Wow.
This was around the turn of the century and is very interesting. It is available for viewing by the public at the Clay County Genealogical Library in Louisville if anyone is interested.
I want to look at that next time.
By the way, people need to, the Genealogical Society is really cool.
It is super cool.
Rita says, here's another cool fact about the Songer plantation here. I was also especially interested in the photo of Angie Walker's residence, as my husband, Don Thomas, once lived in this house with his brother, Jim, and their parents.
Oh, wow.
When he was quite young. And I got a picture, not that picture, the picture of the house. So apparently, yeah. This is the house. This is the Angie Walker home.
Okay.
But in Songer Township, and Don Thomas and his family lived there.
Cool.
You see the little white splotch?
Yeah,
that's her standing on the
Angie,
porch.
huh?
That's Angie standing on the porch.
I think I know where this house might be.
Well, apparently this house is still standing.
Yeah, and it's on the main road between Xenia and Oskaloosa.
I think so. We're going to find it when we go.
Okay.
Yes, like I said, Rena, I'm not sure when Rena, she wrote this article in 2000.
Okay.
So it's been that, but I would imagine that house is probably, I believe it looks familiar. Well, and then she says, she believes that in 2000, she believed the house was still standing. She said, well, back to the cemetery. Regardless how or why this cemetery was so named, both the Songer and Walker names are synonymous for the true pioneers of the area. Yeah,
Cool.
when you got
I want to find that cemetery. That sounds like a good one.
Songer Cemetery.
Okay.
So we need to write that down during our commercial break.
Okay.
And we are going to take a commercial break, and we will be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me all your lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh, yeah. Give me all your guns, too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we've just did some random stories today. Mm-hmm. And it's also that time of year, family reunions.
Family reunions. Now, do you have them?
Well, you know what? We have a Franklin reunion over in Clay City, and we still get together there. But gosh, so many of the older ones that did it are all passing away. And then we do the Hemp Hill reunion, but the only Hemp Hill left is my Aunt Marie. You know, my mom and Aunt Marie were, the only ones left, and then Mom passed away in 2022, and we tried to get together, and Aunt Marie apparently fell down and broke her shoulder the other day.
Oh, no.
So I'm not sure what's going on with Aunt Marie, but we do have it, and it is fun because people do, but it's almost like I really wish, and I don't know, your family may have been this way, but it's like I remember my grandmother didn't talk much about her family, and it's just like, I don't know. We have all these great aunts and uncles and stuff, and I know a little bit about them. Yeah. I'm finding more and more about them as I do my own research, but it's like I don't really felt like my granny and them guys talked about it. But at family reunions, it'd be like, oh, you remember this? But it's usually more like what we did when all the cousins when we were little. Now, do you guys have a family reunion?
Not really, no. I think there's a side of maybe my grandma's family that has a reunion. I don't go to it. Don't know anything about it. It's just, I don't know. I feel like family reunions in the old days were a regular thing, and every family had them.
I remember do you remember going out to Charlie Brown Park, and the park would be packed, and each reunion, they would have hundreds of people at the and they'd have like big names. This is the Hemp Hills. This is the DeVores or the Coopers, you know.
I think it's kind of a thing of the past. I think the people that cared about it have passed on.
I think so too.
And I think the newer generations don't care. They just don't have time. People are too busy. And if there's somebody in your family that you really want to talk to, you probably have them on social media, even if they live in Alaska. So then you feel like you're kind of connected to them. You talk to them on a daily or weekly basis because you see all their posts like, oh, they just graduated high school. Oh, they did this. Their daughter got married. Like, you know it. You know what's going on with them, so you don't feel like you have to have the reunion anymore.
Well, this is kind of like talking about the Thomas family, and it's like the older generation. It's like this is like where you get your best form of information. This, but of course, back was before social media and that, where you can keep down. And I feel like they were like it's almost like a walk down memory lane, when you're doing this. So this is actually all this information came out at a family reunion that was there, and this is the family reunion of John Henry Thomas.
And I bet was related to Dawn Thomas. I bet that's why she delved into this Thomas.
Delved into this Thomas family. Yeah, but I love the name of this. So this is the descendants of John Henry Thomas, who was the son of Fendall, Fendall. Fendall and Elizabeth Kidd Thomas. When John's father died in the Civil War, less than a month after his enlistment. Oh, that's sad. Ugh. His wife left West Virginia and headed westward with her 6 children in a covered wagon.
Okay, stop right there. That is a really brave woman. So her husband just gets killed. She is now a single mom in a time where it's not cool to be a single mom. Yep. She has 6 mouths to feed, no husband, no income, nothing. And she decides to get on a covered wagon with these 6 children and go west.
Yeah, and let me show you. Show this picture right here. I haven't talked about George. This woman right here, Elizabeth Kidd Thomas, the lady on the right, is the one we were talking about that Beth just said. Her husband was killed in the Civil War, and then a month, here she goes, after he enlisted, and she leaves West Virginia and heads westward with 6 children in a covered wagon.
Okay, let's write a TV movie about her.
Right.
And the Hallmark Channel will buy it for them.
Yeah, exactly. They were John, George, William, Amarilla, Mary, and Martha. So George Eldridge right there is one of her sons.
Wow.
But he was little at the time when they're coming across.
Amarilla,
Amarilla by morning. That's a neat name. That's a neat name.
I like it.
They went first to Kentucky, where Elizabeth eventually remarried a man by the name of
What?
Matheny.
Matheny. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I wonder
Okay.
if whenever Rena was researching the Matheny family, if Dawn is related to the Matheny's, if that's how she came upon.
I don't know. But can we really do 2 stories back to back?
About Matheny?
About Matheny?
We can do it.
After his death, she traveled northward and ended up near Salem, Illinois, where she married Daniel D. Sands.
What happened to Matheny?
After his death.
He died.
I don't know, but that's a coincidence.
So now she's lost 2 husbands.
Now she's lost 2 husbands.
And she's in Salem.
John Henry Thomas settled near Clay City and married Clara B. Loveland in Flora in 1885. So John Henry Thomas, and I got a picture of him. So this is another son of hers. This is another son. Yeah, I'll show this guy. So this is who we're talking about now. He married a lady named Clara B. Loveland in Flora in 1885. She was the daughter of William and Elizabeth Webb Loveland. Okay? Now, John, this guy, and Clara had 8 children. Albert, Harry, Pearl, Kearney, Ellery, Ralph, Clara, and John. How interesting. Okay. So that's her son that traveled with her, and now he has...
he looks nice.
He does look like a nice man. Then the picture I showed you a minute ago of George Eldridge Thomas, brother of John Henry, also settled in Flora. He was married to Florence Virginia Christie, daughter of Abraham and Catherine Postum Christie. Okay. George operated a clothing store on East North Avenue in Flora for over 40 years.
Well, he did look nicely dressed in that picture.
He did. Oh, absolutely. George died in 1936, leaving 3 daughters, Fanny Stanford, Pauline Schnell, and Lucille Hubble, and 1 son, Lloyd Thomas. His wife preceded him in death. His store was one of the landmarks in the Flora Business District for many years. George, being of a quiet and conservative disposition, yet friendly and cheerful to all who knew him.
I wonder if Don Thomas's dad's name was Lloyd.
I don't know. We've got a lot of questions for you, Don. Don's going to be watching. Call me at the shop tomorrow.
Let us know.
Let me know. Both John Henry and George Eldridge Thomas have many, many descendants still living in Clay County and surrounding areas. And then this is an interesting fact that she writes. This is Rena. A week or 2 ago, I wrote of Joseph Pettyjohn family. Well, this week I was told by 2 of the cousins of the family, Loretta Pettyjohn Wilder and Mildred Neff Hamilton, that another member of the family had traced their line back to Davy Crockett.
Oh, my.
It seems that their 4th great-grandmother was married to the famous frontiersman.
That's cool.
Right.
So there's Davy Crockett descendants right here in Clay County.
And then she says, now see what interesting information you could uncover in your search. Happy digging.
That's
super cool. And she wrote this in 2000.
And that was the Pettyjohns? I don't know any Pettyjohns.
Where's your phone?
I don't know, but I need to research. Am I related to Davy Crockett?
Are you?
I don't know. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. How neat is that?
Yes.
And yes, I'm taking notes right now because I will forget. And we're going to talk about who? Excuse me.
The Pettyjohns.
John Pettyjohn. Joseph. We want Joseph.
Joseph Pettyjohn. We're going to look into him.
We are going to look into him.
Yes.
Because that is an interesting, that is a very interesting story. See, I can't even type on my phone. You would have already had it done, and I had to go back and, yeah, Pettyjohn.
I've heard of the name Pettyjohn, but I don't know of any around here. Yeah. So anyway, good stories. I'm thankful for Rena that she always had such good research put into her articles.
Oh, yeah.
She's been a wonderful resource for us. When we do our research, we pull stuff from here and there and everywhere and go to the different libraries and research. And time after time, we come back to her stuff because she's got it together. So she's got it all.
It's easy to read.
Yes.
Some of the
local researchers in the past, Clay County researchers, great people, but they get off topic.
Yeah.
And so they'll start an article about something, and then by the end of the article, you're talking about something completely different.
Yeah.
And not all the facts are there. So it's kind of a struggle.
It has its moments, especially, and then like some of like you got these pictures. It's like, oh, cool, this is a really neat picture. I want to study who this is, and then but the article has nothing to do with that
picture,
that particular picture. I'm visual. I'm a visual learner. I learn by seeing.
And then there's a lot of history books about Clay County that are full of pictures.
Yeah,
but they were put in there by a photographer or somebody that was doing a fundraiser with this book, but not a historian.
Right.
So that means they show the picture and they say, "This was a picture of the flood in Iola."
And nothing else.
It doesn't say a year. It doesn't say who was in the people that are standing in the picture. None of that. Mm-hmm. Or it might say these were great Flora leaders.
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, but you didn't name them, and you didn't give a year, and you also you didn't even say the state. So like, we know it's Flora, Illinois, because it's a book in. But like, if somebody picks it up on eBay in 50 years, they're going to be like, was that Flora, Illinois? Was it Flora, Alabama? Was it Flora?
Yeah,
and it's
there's
like,
more Floras.
Get your who, what, where, when, and why in there, people.
That's right. Whenever you start doing our research.
Yes.
Whoever does our research when we're old.
Yes.
We want dates and days.
Yes, get the facts.
Okay, well, here's a fact.
Okay, we're going to end the show with something funny.
I can't stand cheap people. It makes me real mad when someone says something like, hey, when are you going to pay me that $100 you owe me? Or, do you have that $50 you borrowed? Man, quit being so cheap. Jack Handy.
Jack Handy. That's funny.
Man, I hate cheap people. Quit asking me to pay you back.
Yeah, quit bugging me about it, man.
Come on, man.
Oh, my gosh.
So cheap.
Oh, that's funny.
That was a good one.
Yes.
I was laughing about that one earlier. It was funny.
That was a good one.
Yeah, so that was awesome.
Jack Handy.
But sometimes I like just like 3 different fun, interesting facts of Clay
just
County.
Little stories, because not every story is enough to make a whole episode, but it doesn't mean it should be discounted and not covered.
Yeah, we want to cover it always.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
all right, Beth, tell them where they can find us.
As always, you can find us on Wabash Channel 100, Catch TV, daily at 11 a.m. New episodes air on Thursdays and on Fridays. All of our episodes are on YouTube. All you have to do is go to youtube.com, type in Beth and Stacey. Our channel will pop up. Boom, click on that, and all of our episodes are there, all 154 or something like that.
Well, let's see. We did 50,
51, 53.
This is 153
will be on YouTube. So you can watch all of them or find a specific one, or you may want to go back and watch one on a certain topic. You can find that too. They're all labeled. So, also we're on Facebook. Like and follow us on Facebook, by the way, with Beth and Stacey. Send us an email at bytheway@bethandstacey@gmail.com. All of those are good ways to reach us. So anyway.
I just had an epiphany.
Oh, okay. What?
I think that we should do a live show and bring Don Thomas on.
Oh, yeah.
And some of those people that we get some of these old interesting facts from. I think we should do a live show.
That would be fun.
I wonder how we could do that.
I don't know.
We should have done something at the fair.
Ask our producer to make that happen.
We'll have to ask our producer about that.
Yes, no kidding.
Yeah,
so,
I'd like to do a live show.
Live show. Got to make it happen. Live studio audience. Raise your hand if you want to be in the live studio audience. Yes. Yay! My mom will be there. I know that.
I know she'll be there. She's our biggest fan.
Anyway. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.